This is Jason Docker here, and he's an expert hunter. He's been hunting for a long time now, and I'm going to interview him on the hunting economics of hunting. In your opinion, how important is hunting to us Americans?
Well, when you get away from the tradition of hunting, we go back to our forefathers and get away from that and look at it from an economic standpoint. The jobs that it creates in the hunting industry, as far as from, especially here in the year 2012, with from TV all the way to the management of the deer to just hunting equipment. It's amazing. You go back to 1937, you had the Pittman-Robertson Act that put a tax on hunting equipment and shells and ammunition, guns. All that money is poured back into the conservation of the game. And well, of course, without the game and it being plentiful, and you look at the wild turkey as a good example of how it went from just mass numbers of turkeys to they just slaughtered them out, and then we come about and had game conservation, where now we have a ton of turkeys now. I mean, it goes back to the conservation of efforts of men who said that they had a vision for the future, and there's no greater time to be a hunter than now. And as far as Americans go, it isn't just the hunter that benefits. It's those that are homeless, those that are have very little, because there's programs out there. Every state has something. Like Georgia has a Hunters for the Hungry program. I know Iowa has what they call the Hush program. All this is where meat is donated back to needy families. So I don't think you can put a value on how important it is that the hunting heritage continues.
You told us how important hunting is to Americans. Now tell us, why is hunting important to you?
Well, it's hunting to me is recreation. It's a way of life for our family. It's quality time that we get to spend together. I was brought up a hunter, and actually not by my dad, but by my brother-in-law, and it's just a heritage that I want to pass on to show them that it's not about the kill, that it's more about us having a good time in God's creation together, and we do that as a family. You go and you start pricing the cost of Six Flags or some of these amusement parks or some of the other things. I think we come out pretty well. I know we got to buy guns and things like that, and tags and license, but as far as getting the bang for your buck, I think hunting is a quality way to spend time with your family.
So we know hunting is a recreational time for you to spend time with your family and save money. But how much food do you gather with your family from hunting?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. My wife and I, who have 4 children, we've been married for 13 years. In this December will be 13 years, and we've about bought 2 packs of ground beef in that 13 years. So that tells you how much deer meat that we actually eat. And it isn't just the deer meat. I mean, we the turkeys, and it's just it's a grand time around the Dockery table when we have some of the turkey poppers and a lot of the foods that we eat. And like I said, we consume. If we kill it, we're going to eat it. And it's just something why I taught my kids from an early age that if you're going to harvest an animal, it's something that we're going to partake of and let it be a part of our table fare. So it's as far as numbers, I can't give you numbers, but I can tell you it's a big part of every meal that we have at the Dockery house.
Where all have you been hunting in the United States?
Well, of course, I cut my teeth here in Georgia, where I do most of my hunting is Georgia. My passion, I love to hunt anything, but my passion is turkey hunting. And my goal is to kill what they call the Grand Slam in turkey hunting, and that's carried me to places all over the United States. One is South Dakota, which is where we got the harvest this Merriam turkey, and South Dakota. This turkey here is what we call the Rio Grande, and I actually killed it in Kansas. There's this bird here is the eastern bird that we have, which is the most plentiful bird, and that's what we have here in Georgia. And they all have look close to the same, but a few differences. And the one bird that I haven't killed yet is in Florida, called the Osceola, and that's one that's I need to complete my Grand Slam. But I have hunted Florida for turkeys, elk in Colorado, mule deer, Colorado, and hunted Ohio, Illinois, and this buck here actually came from Illinois, and all the other deer here are Georgia deer. So not as many states as I'd like to go to, but Lord willing, I'll hit some of these other states in the near future.
What impact does hunting have on some of these small towns?
Well, economically, the impact goes way beyond the state benefiting from me buying a license, and because you start figuring in the price of everything that's involved. I mean, when we go to these towns, we got to have a place to stay, lodging, of course, benefits, food. We eat in these small restaurants in these small towns, and you close down hunting, and I don't think a lot of these businesses could make it, because that is their peak time to economically is during the hunting season, because that's when you take Ohio, for example. Just a lot of poor towns up there, and when it comes hunting season, November, and even in Colorado in September, these businesses rely on these hunters coming in for a place to stay and to eat, and the gas that we spend. So I wish I had a number for you to tell you how much money each town, and there's numbers out there if you research that, to show how they benefit. So it goes way beyond the tags and what the Department of Natural Resources make. It goes all the way to the little hole-in-the-wall places that benefit from the hunter when they stay there.
If our right to hunt was taken away, what are the long-term effects on the economy of this country?
Well, first of all, let me give a shout-out to these states who have passed legislation that says specifically that the people of that state have a right to hunt. That's legislation that's been passed in several states, and I hope it's going to be all 50 before it's done. Now, as far as economically speaking, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to have to find a new way of life. It'd be like saying we're going to shut down, totally revamp education, no longer have teachers, we'll do everything online. It'll be done. You'd have to have people that are teachers find a whole different line of work, and that's the way to be in the hunting industry. People, as we talked about those small towns, they rely on the hunters. They no longer come in. You go ahead and figure in your head what would happen to these small towns. The taxes that come in from people buying hunting equipment, that would be gone. The conservation of the animals, which again, that money is poured back into conservation of game. So we can reach as far as to say, this is about a management standpoint of game, because that's why we hunt, not just to provide recreation and food, but it actually manages the game. We won't get into the numbers game of how they multiply and all that, but that the impact would be it'd be devastating. And I would hope, this is my opinion, and you can cut this out if you want to, but I would almost hope there would be that would be a freedom if taken away, that they would create the second Civil War.
In conclusion, tell us where you see the hunting industry going.
Well, I see freedom in America, where the right to hunt is given to all Americans, and I see a thriving market where the heritage of hunting is continued to be passed on to this upcoming generation. And you look at the new gadgets being made for hunting, and the dependence on other people outside of hunting that depends on these hunters to provide their way of life, their means of making it day to day. I see nothing but a promising future for hunters and the hunting industry and the economics as far as hunting goes.